Hey, this is MassX with a brand new DC Dark Legion video, and mattering on what server you are, you either got Superboy or you've got Supergirl, like on my server. So now that we're getting these pieces and Krypto coming, is this going to be a plausible team? So I want to take a look at that and really think about what is going to be plausible with this team and how it's going to work. Now, most people have Superman, but let's take a quick look at Superman itself, okay? You know, his first skill, damage debuff. At level 5, he shoots a heat laser, does physical damage of 960% of his attack to an enemy. You know, when the game came out, he was heads and tails the best DPS. Things change over time, but let's get back to him. Then his next skill, the freeze breath, damage control at level 5. He inhales deeply, does physical damage to 570% of attack to an enemy and freezing them for 3 seconds, which is always nice to have that. Then you've got the under a yellow sun, the buff damage. Superman soars into space. He gains 1 permanent stack of solar energy before dealing physical damage equal to 1750% of his attack to the enemy. Solar energy, which is now becoming more important now, increases attack by 30% and stacks up to 3 times. Now you've also got his skill, Man of Steel, the defense buff. Superman's defense increases by 75%. At the start of battle, Superman gains 1 stack of 25% attack up for each Superman family ally present, which is going to help him out a lot. And that's why I wanted to talk about this new team that is incoming for all of us. And then we've also got the skill Hope Restored, increases all champions' HP by 5%, blah, 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 blah. Not important to talk. Now let's look at Supergirl next. What does she do and how is she going to accompany Superman and this team? Well, you've got the AoE damage Arctic Breath. Supergirl draws in freezing air and exhales an icy blast, dealing physical damage equal to 600% of her attack to enemies in a fan-shaped area. Then you've got her solar recharge skill, which is a defense buff. It increases defense in men by 30% at the start of battle for each Superman family ally present, which is a big push, especially for Superman. We all know Superman, if you don't get him up high enough, can be squishy. When he gets up there, he does last longer, but now to even have more, that is making him even more viable to last late game for you. Supergirl gains an additional stack of 15% defense and men up, stacking up to 5 times, which is great for her to keep her going and alive. Then you've got Solar Battery, another AoE damage. Supergirl channels her power, dealing physical damage equal to 750% of her attack to enemies in a circular area. At Krypton energy level 1, she absorbs solar energy, increasing the skill's crit rate by 50%, which is awesome. And at level 3, it enhances her might even more, increasing the skill's damage to 2000% of her attack. Very formidable, that skill for damage. Then you've got the Family Ties buff, increases attack by 25% at the start of battle. For each Superman family ally present, Supergirl's ultimate damage is increased by 25%, stacking up to 5 times, which means you're really going to be wanting to push her ultimate if you're going to be using her as definitely a damage dealer. Then you've got the skill Power of Ra, increases all champions' defense by 10% and warrior champions men by 10%, applies globally, blah, blah, blah. Very good character. I can see her complementing Superman quite a bit. A fairly good job for the setup for those two. But then we've got to move on to Superboy and see what this character is going to do for us. Now, I'm very interested in this character. His first skill, Chill, AoE damage and debuff. Connor Kent exhales a blast of icy wind, dealing physical damage equal to 500% of his attack to enemies in a circular area and reducing their physical defense by 5% until the end of battle. And that can stack 4 times. I love that skill because you are getting that physical defense down and it stacks. So it goes to 20%. Very cool. I like that a lot. Then you've got his defense S shield. Connor Kent strengthens his resolve, reducing damage taken from ranged skills by 60%. Not bad. Then we've got the skill buff Super Pro. Connor Kent unleashes his telekinetic power, increasing attack by 40% of his base attack for both himself and the ally with the highest attack. Supergirl takes priority if present. Interesting to know there. So, this effect is capped at 133% of the target's base attack each time, stacks up to 3 times, and lasts until the end of the battle. The ally also becomes immune to control effects for 1 time. The attack bonus is doubled for Superman family allies. That is just a really good buff. Now we've got the skill buff in the genes. At the start of battle, Connor Kent's attack increases by 50% for each level of Krypton energy. And of course, we've got the TK field, increases all champions men and champions HP. So I can see now how they're going with this one. You've got your buffer, you got one that's a little bit more damaged, a little bit of a mixed toolkit, and then you've got a primary damage dealer. The 3 of them should complement each other very well. And last but definitely not least is going to be Krypto. Now, what does Krypto give us, okay? Well, good boy, healing. Krypto heals allies within range for 400% of his attack. So we already know what Krypto is going to be doing. He is going to be the peer supporter. He is going to be trying to keep your team alive. When an ally drops below 50% HP, Krypto flies to their side, granting a shield equal to 480% of his attack and healing them for 240% of his attack. Can be cast manually with a 10-second cooldown. Then you've got zoomies, buff, healing, and debuff. Krypto zips around excitedly, knocking down enemies in his path and reducing their attack by 24%. I like that. He also heals allies in his path for 80% of his attack per second for 5 seconds. Now the passive portion, instead of attacking, Krypto sniffs out buried bones across the battlefield. Each bone he finds grants him a large amount of energy, increases his healing effect by 5%, and can stack up to 50%. That's a nice little mechanic there. I'll be curious to see how that works when you're actually playing the team. Then you've got the buff for Best Super Friend. At the start of battle, Krypto gains 50% bonus HP and increases all allies' defense and men by 15% of his own. Casting his ultimate generates 10 Krypton energy, and if Krypto is defeated, this effect transfers to the nearest Superman family ally. That's kind of cool that you have that transfer there. And of course, the Cuddle Charge increases Superman family champions' attack by 7.5% and defense by 7.5% and applies globally. Really nice situation here. You've got your peer support, then you've got a kind of toolbox support, and then you've got your 2 main damage dealers, let's call it. The team itself should be semi-effective when you look at this. The question is, how high do you have to get them up? How quickly are you going to be able to get this rotation going? Because some of these are going to rely on certain skills and ultimates. It will be interesting to see, but on paper, it looks as if it's going to be quite good. And on top of that, we now have that Superman family insignia there, which deploying Superman family champions activates the Krypton energy. Each ultimate cast by Superman family champions generates 1 point of Krypton energy. And as we know, that is going to increase the attack of everybody. And that is going to be big because now you're going to be doing more damage. If you're playing the full team of them, this is going to build up incredibly quickly for you. So then that poses the thought of, who do I use with it? this team. And of course, my first thought, of course, is using Sinestro to be able to speed that process up. But I could see a whole host of characters being useful, even right down to somebody as simple as Flash, to even make that attack higher. So you're gonna quick kill, hopefully, characters on the field. Again, it's going to be trial and error to see who works best. I don't anticipate a 5th character coming, but I could be wrong. Maybe we will get somebody, and that would be kind of cool to be able to round out the team sooner than later. But again, this is kind of looking long term, because some of us don't even have Superboy yet or Krypto available to just pull. So, but it is something to think about, because I think this team has some major, viability actually. It will be interesting to see how quick kill you can and what level these characters have to be at to be effective. And I'm referring to star level. Now, the sad fact about all this is, quite honestly, if you're going to be using this team, your best case scenario, of course, is getting their specialized equipment. So of course, for Supergirl, you're talking that House of L symbol, which gives an attack increase immediately, and the ultimate is damage is increased, and that can stack 10 times, which just makes it crazy. And of course, if you're not familiar with Superman's cape, it increases that physical pen, and you gain a stack of 3% attack up that can also stack up to 6 times for that character. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. With Superboy, you have that Super 6 string, which is going to increase the effect resistance, increase the damage of chill by a whopping 70% of attack, with a 20% base chance to freeze the targets for 1 second, which is going to be helpful. And with Krypto, since he's not going to have that, you're probably going to most likely be looking for something that's going to help increase his healing to help keep your team alive as fast as possible. But to me, this is a very, very interesting set of characters, and I think they have a lot of possible viability in this game. Only time will tell, right? Let me know if you're excited about this. I don't think this is a coincidence that we're seeing this with this new Superman movie coming out. Yeah, I don't think it's any shock at all. We have the Superman movie this summer. I know we're getting the Supergirl movie up next. So yeah, Krypto's even in the Superman movie. Yeah, I can feel what's going on here, what they're trying to do. So with that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.